Many local residents are aware of the soliciting that takes place in the downtown area. I'm Kristen Toole, and coming up, I'll tell you how aggressive panhandling is becoming a big problem here in Morgantown.
The LGBTQ community has a new safe haven right here on the WVU downtown campus. I'm Jacqueline Fenton, and coming up, I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Drinking and driving has been an issue in Morgantown, but coming up, I'll tell you about a new offense that is taking police officers by surprise. I'm Quinn Crosby, and our Emmy Award-winning WVU News starts now.
Although drunk driving can be fatal, local officials have seen an increase in the number of people driving while on drugs. I'm Hannah Getz.
And I'm Kristen Toole. A Samsung device has been pulled from the shelves due to reports on them catching on fire and even exploding.
These stories and more on WVU News, an Emmy Award-winning newscast produced by television journalism students right here at West Virginia University. Homelessness affects more than 600,000 people nationwide and nearly 2,000 people in West Virginia. And many believe this is contributing to the panhandling problem in the downtown area.
That's right, Hannah, and at a recent Morgantown City Council meeting, residents and officials came out to discuss this aggressive panhandling issue. I spoke with some city officials to see how people can combat the problem affecting Morgantown. Aggressive panhandling is a legal term that refers to unlawful forms of public begging. And Morgantown City Council member Jay Redmond says some of the panhandling downtown needs to be prohibited.
We've had not only an increase in activity, but sort of an increase in the type of activity, and it's gotten a lot more aggressive over the course of the last few years.
In Morgantown's current city ordinance, prohibited panhandling includes touching someone, following them, blocking a person, and using obscene language. And now local officials are looking to add soliciting by spoken word or approaching someone to that list. This could mean holding up a sign will be the only way to legally solicit money or food. This ordinance would change the way the homeless solicit. But Path Outreach worker Allie Jackson says the source of this problem is not just the homeless.
Yes, our homeless do panhandle. Don't misunderstand that. They do panhandle. A lot of times they don't have an income. A lot of them self-medicate because that's how they survive on the streets. But then we have a lot of people that are just taking advantage of the situation.
No matter who is soliciting, Redmond says with local food pantries, housing, and free clothing, for most of the people downtown, panhandling is just their way of life.
People need to understand that people that ask them for money in the downtown area are not asking for it for the necessities of life.
According to officials, students and residents should not give solicitors money. Instead, they recommend giving clothes or food. The city attorney is now working on an updated city ordinance to clearly define aggressive panhandling for the Morgantown area.
And Kristen, I know city officials are encouraging residents to report any aggressive panhandling to the police. Panhandling is not the only problem officials are dealing with. They are also seeing a rise in the number of people driving while under the influence of drugs.
That's right, Hannah. Reporter Quinn Crosby is here to tell us more about how drugged driving is affecting people here in Morgantown. Quinn?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Driving under the influence means not only driving after drinking, but also driving after doing drugs. In 2014, 10 million people from age 12 and up reported that they had driven under the influence of illegal drugs. I sat down with Morgantown Police Chief Ed Preston to get the latest on this growing problem.
With an average of 150 DUIs per year in Morgantown, and an all-time high in drug overdoses, police officers are now working to keep not only drunk drivers, but also drug users off the road.
Now we're experiencing something that we have not necessarily experienced before in the past, but we're getting a lot more drugged driving arrests where people are under the influence of opiates such as heroin or OxyContin. And we're seeing a very significant uptick right now of that type of offense.
Driving is a multi-aspect task requiring mental alertness, visual and auditory processing, and hand-eye coordination. Opioids are central nervous system depressants, making drugged drivers equally as dangerous as drunk drivers.
In 2014, more than 31 million people drove after drug or alcohol use. While police officers are working to keep impaired drivers off the roads with routine checkpoints, transportation services are also doing their part. Statistics show that almost half of all drivers who were killed in crashes tested positive for drugs in their system. Officers trained to detect drugs will monitor field sobriety tests to arrest and keep drug users off the road.
Police want to stress that driving while under the influence of drugs, including prescription medications, can also result in DUI charges. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Quinn. Some students and Morgantown residents are feeling safer and more supported on campus after the opening of the LGBTQ Center downtown.
That's right, Hannah, and reporter Jacqueline Fenton joins us from Studio B at the Media Innovation Center to tell us more about the opening. Jacqueline?
Thanks, Kristen and Hannah. It's been nearly 30 years in the making. With the official grand opening of the new lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer inclusive center, West Virginia University opened its doors and sent a positive message of inclusivity to the entire community. The LGBTQ community has a new space on the WVU campus, and it's the LGBTQ Center located in Hodges Hall. The purpose of this new space on campus is to give LGBTQ students a safe and inclusive place. Junior Julia Durbin has a few plans on how she will spend her time there.
So certain things I'd expect to come to the center for would be safe zone trainings, maybe movie nights, Spectrum game nights, just little soirees, maybe working with other student organizations outside of Spectrum and having some collaboration.
LGBTQ directors at WVU have been working for 26 years to have this space for their community, and at the grand opening, over 100 Morgantown residents, WVU students, and faculty and staff attended to show their support. WVU professor Daniel Brewster even took part in making sure the space became what it is today.
You know, typically many LGBT students hide in corners, and this is a space where they can feel themselves, they can talk about issues that are important to themselves.
The Open and Accepted Community has 3 student organizations, a floor in Stalnaker Hall, and with the LGBTQ Center now open, WVU is one of 100 colleges across the nation that has a center specifically for these students.
The LGBTQ Center is open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Officials say the center is a unique model for other universities to emulate, with an emphasis on academics. Kristen and Hannah, back to you at the Waterfront Studio.
Thanks for that report, Jacqueline. Forbes magazine reports that the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 phone is, quote, finished.
Over 2.5 million phones have been recalled worldwide after reports the device can catch fire while charging due to the batteries overheating. Experts say the issue of faulty batteries will have long-lasting implications for the Korean company. As of September 1st, at least 35 customers have reported exploding batteries to Samsung, including a man who said his Jeep was set on fire by a Galaxy Note 7 phone, while another man claims his phone exploded in his pocket, causing severe burns. The Consumer Product Safety Commission is urging all Samsung Galaxy Note 7 users to stop using these phones immediately.
WVU students had their phones working overtime recently, making everyone aware of hashtag Tent City. It's one of the newest Mountaineer traditions, Hannah.
That's right, Kristen. Students are proving camping is not only for the woods, but also for the Mountain Lair Green. Morgan Malarski joins us now from Social Square with the latest in social media and pop culture news. Morgan.
2 years ago, when College Game Day came to Morgantown, WVU students camped out in anticipation for the big game. But what started out as just a post on Twitter has led to a tradition that students look forward to each year. The 3rd annual Tent City is held during the week of WVU's homecoming, where students gather together and camp in tents. The university was very pleased with the success of the event and fundraising that they asked to have it back every year.
Last year we raised $1,520 for Empty Bowls Monongalia, and this year we're looking to top that. We're selling t-shirts that were donated by the University Bookstore in hopes to raise money and awareness for hunger here in Mon County.
Tent City is expected to have over 300 tents by the end of the week. On just the first day, 190 tents were set up. Students pitched tents ranging in size from 40 square feet to 200 square feet, and they camp out right here on the Mountain Lair Green. Students look forward to this event each year that most local stores run out of camping supplies before Tent City even starts.
This whole school just comes together and honestly just chills right behind the Mountain Lair for an entire week. Everyone just gets to know each other, everyone's friendly.
We have a relay race, we have food eating contest, we have a tug-of-war contest, and we have a minute-to-win-it game.
What makes the event so unique is that students created it all through social media. The name of Tent City started from just one post on Twitter that gained popularity and led to other students spreading the name. All promoting and organizing is done on social media to encourage students to join the festivities. Tent City is an alcohol-free environment that gives students a chance to show their school spirit. For more information, like Tent City on Facebook or follow them on Twitter. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
School spirits are certainly high right now, Hannah, especially as the Mountaineer family becomes a literal part of some players' lives.
That's right, Kristen. Sports reporter Ashley Rogers tells us all about how some Mountaineers are taking the term brotherly love to a whole new level.
I'm Ashley Rogers, and coming up on WVU News, I'll tell you about a team who's given the word family a whole new meaning.
Ready to go?
Sometimes the most important lessons are learned outside the classroom.
Are we going the right way?
When you chase the unknown, take a risk, and push beyond your boundaries. That's when you discover who you really are. Every journey starts with a first. Let's go.
It's not every day that you can play the game you love with your brother by your side, Kristen.
And Hannah, WVU football is taking the word family to a whole new level. Sports reporter Reagan Bailey is here to tell us about a special bond the Mountaineers share. Reagan?
Thanks, Hannah and Kristen. Brotherly love, that's something WVU coaches are used to seeing this year, and not just on the field. This year's football program is filled with brothers from all over the country. Sports reporter Ashley Rogers discovered what it's like to have your brother by your side on and off the field.
5. That's how many sets of brothers are on this year's WVU roster. The team leads the NCAA with the most, tying the Iowa Hawkeyes for the most on any D1 roster.
It's pretty cool. You're always talking about family in football. You know, at the end of the day, I think we break down every day 1, 2, 3 family. So to really see that you really do have family on this football field, and somebody that when you're having a rough day you can go to, or you having a good day they can calm you back down. So I think those factors in, and then it helps you with your homesickness too, having somebody you can lean on.
Siblings gearing up for the Mountaineers this season include the Adams, Campbell, Chuganoff, Ferns, and White brothers. Karan White, brother of former Mountaineer Kevin White and current Mountaineer Kazir White, says while the team is closely knit, having a brother along the journey certainly has its benefits.
We'll watch film together, you know, help each other out. After practice, sometimes I work with him, see what he needs help with, so it's helped out a lot.
White is used to playing alongside his brother. In fact, they've suited up together since high school, and while he likes having him by his side, that doesn't stop the competition.
You know, just like when one of us make a play, we'll kind of feed off and be like, all right, I got to make a play now. My family here watching, so that's our goal, keep making plays and making everybody proud.
White says his brother's success as a Mountaineer played a role in him coming to WVU, and that he believes he played a role in his younger brother's decision to continue the WVU tradition. Ashley Rogers, WVU Sports, Morgantown.
WVU coaches admit that getting outstanding prospects with Mountaineer family ties is always a top priority for the coaching staff. And it's important to note that head coach Dana Holgerson has always been proud of the family-type atmosphere he's developed his 5 seasons. Hannah and Kristen, back to you.
What a special way to play the game that they love, Kristen. Well, that's going to do it for this week's edition of WVU News. You can visit us online on our website.
You can also watch any of our shows on YouTube, and please follow us and our reporters on Twitter. I'm Kristen Toole.
And I'm Hannah Getz. Thanks for watching WVU News. We'll see you next time.